Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back. First of all, I would like to thank all those who commented on the first episode. And we hope to have interactions about what is shown to you. We mentioned that the first verses to be revealed to Prophet Muhammad in a dark cave are actually meant for humanity in all times. And we mentioned that how can one know anything about a clinging embryo in the 7th century? Or how can one know that the forehead has got the language and speech centers to be pulled? The Arabic words are actually understood at that time with the available knowledge, but these verses continue to be a call for thinking about the Creator. One has to point out that the Quran is in Arabic, and the translation are actually for the meaning of the Quranic words, and that can lead to different translations, or even sometimes translation for an old meaning for some scholars at that time. One of these in the verse, created man from a clinging embryo. This is the actual translation, the literal translation for the word alaq. It has been translated in some Quranic translation from a clotted blood. One website sent to me asking how can man be created from clotted blood. I told him it is a wrong meaning and translated in that way. The Arabic words has got so many meanings and even can be used as metaphors. So it is almost impossible to translate the Arabic words with equivalent words in all languages. This is seen in so many words in the Quran. For example, al-ard. It can mean the earth, but also can mean the land. The word bid'a, an Arabic word, which means from 3 to 9 years, and there is no equivalent word in any language for it. When translated into English, they translated few years. So that's very important because one might go and read a translated meaning of the Quran and find something which are not actually coping with the science in this time. We have to point out that even the Arabic speakers, when they read the Quran in Arabic, they have to go to the meanings of the scholars and the reasons for revelation so as to understand it. So if you are reading a translated version of the Quran, you need to have help if any question raised to you by any verse. This translation problem is actually even for the Bible. The Bible is in Hebrew and translated to all languages. And here we might have some problems with the actual words of the divine words to other languages. A child of God could be a metaphor, the beloved one. Because when I asked one of our brothers, Christian brothers, bring me one verse from the Bible in which Jesus said to you, worship me. So this translation problem has to be pointed early, because one might go to a translated meaning of the Quran and you might find some variations, so he has to try to find the truth from scholars or from websites, or even to read more. We mentioned that almost 50% are non-believers. And when you ask them, our existence is a proof for the Creator, they will simply say that we came by evolution. Evolutionist has been counteracted by some believers in what is called the intelligent design. And from the first verses revealed to Prophet Muhammad in a dark cave, this has been addressed. How can man be created from a drop clinging in the uterus, and that produce the heart, the bones, the lungs, if there is no an intelligent designer? The second verse reads, in the name of your glorious Lord, who taught man by pen. And when you come to the process of learning, it is an extraordinary design. From vision, from hearing, from touching, all the information goes to memory areas in the cortex of the brain, and you can bring this information when you need. How can that happen if there is no intelligent designer, the Creator? The process of the development of the embryo is actually a very intelligent design. It has been described in many verses, but the most important ones are from Surah the Believers, number 23, in verses 12 to 14. Which means, it's very important to say means, because the translation is very difficult, which means we created man from a chain of mud, then we made him a drop in a very secured space, Then we created from that drop something that clings. Then we created from the clinging substance a lump of cells, a lump of flesh, and then from that we created the bones and covered the bones with flesh. Then we produced a new creature. When these steps were shown to an eminent professor of anatomy, he said, these detailed facts were not known till the 15th century. How can this be mentioned in the 7th century by a man in the desert? He started to read more and more, and he became a Muslim. So the steps of the creation of man and the development of the embryo are actually an example of a very excellent, intelligent design. Can you imagine that you and me have been just a single cell? Just a single cell in the womb. A single cell in the fallopian tubes, and then went down to the womb and started to divide and divide and divide, and it produced the skeleton, the muscles, the heart, the brain, the lungs. How was it programmed to do that? So the description of the development of the embryo has been recently proved to be exactly as mentioned in the Quran. If the Quran is not from the Creator, how can Prophet Muhammad know about these details? And if he was writing it, would he dare to put information which will be discovered after 9 centuries from his time?